ever find yourself glued to the screen promising yourself just one more episode, and then suddenly it's 2 in the morning and you've finished the whole season?
Oh, yeah.
We're doing a deep dive today into the world of television, but not just about the shows themselves. We're going to be looking at a conversation from the BBC's Real Easy English podcast, and it got me thinking about why we watch the things we watch.
It's a very interesting look into people's viewing habits and how people's different preferences really shape their relationship with television.
Exactly. The podcast features these 2 listeners, Beth and Neil, and they have totally opposite ways of watching TV. Beth likes to just dive right into a show that she likes. She's a real binge watcher.
Right.
But Neil is much more cautious, almost like he's overwhelmed by all the choices out there. Do you find yourself relating more to the binge watcher or the selective viewer?
That's an interesting question. I think it really gets to the heart of what we're even looking for when we watch TV. Some people really want to immerse themselves and get swept away by the story, and other people maybe want something a little bit more curated.
Yeah. And Beth even used the word addictive to describe how some shows pull her in. She talks specifically about American shows that have those crazy cliffhangers. You know, the ones that make you just desperate to see what happens next.
Oh, the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Such a classic storytelling element. And it really works. That unresolved tension just stays in your mind. You just have to go back and find out what happens.
It's true. It's like the show is a mystery you need to solve. For me, I find that I really get hooked by the characters. If I can connect with them, then I'm much more likely to want to follow their journey, you know, even with all their flaws. What about you? What are the things that usually make you want to watch more of a show?
For me, I think it's the characters, too. Compelling characters, and also that feeling of mystery. I like shows that reveal their secrets bit by bit. That keeps me guessing and keeps me interested.
Yeah.
But I also really enjoy shows that give you a window into different worlds or different perspectives, you know, beyond just the entertainment.
Right. Which actually leads perfectly into Beth and Neil's totally different tastes and genres. Beth loves the Great British Bake Off. But it's not just about the yummy food. She loves watching the bakers themselves. The wins, the disasters, all the emotions.
That's interesting. I think that says a lot about why reality TV is so popular. There's just something so captivating about watching regular people dealing with these unusual situations. It helps us connect. You know, we see ourselves in their struggles and their successes.
It's so true. It's like we're right there in the tent with them, feeling all that pressure, the clock ticking down, Paul Hollywood just staring them down.
Yeah, exactly.
Neil, on the other hand, he's all about Scandinavian dramas. He likes all the complex plots and everything. But he also said something that was a little ambitious about watching these shows.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks that watching all these subtitled dramas might actually help him learn Swedish. What do you think? Is there something to that, or is he just being hopeful?
Well, it's definitely not the usual way to learn a language.
Yeah.
But I can't say it's totally crazy if you hear a language over and over again, even with subtitles. You can start to get used to how it sounds and the rhythm of it.
So maybe Neil's onto something. This actually brings up a really interesting question. Have you ever learned something from a TV show that you totally didn't expect? Maybe it sparked a new interest or changed your perspective on something, or you even just learned some random fact that you've never forgotten.
I think that shows how TV can be more than just entertainment. It can open up new worlds and cultures and ideas.
Yeah. And sometimes those lessons stay with us long after we've watched the show. Beth actually said something interesting about why she loves Bake Off. And I think it's all about learning from TV.
Really?
Yeah.
What did she say?
Well, she said that just watching the baking process itself is really educational for her.
Huh.
It's not about memorizing recipes or anything. It's more about appreciating the skill and the artistry involved.
Oh, that makes sense. It's like television can give us these virtual apprenticeships. We get to watch these masters at work, whether it's baking or woodworking, or even something super specific like glass blowing.
That's true. How else would most of us ever get to see that kind of skill in person?
Yeah.
TV can give us access to all this knowledge and expertise.
Exactly. And it can spark our curiosity.
And
make us want to learn more, even if it's just for the enjoyment of understanding something new.
Right. So Neil might be hoping to absorb Swedish just by watching TV. But Beth is finding her own way to learn, in the very precise world of pastry.
I love that.
It reminds us that learning doesn't always have to be so formal. It can happen naturally, even when we're just looking for some fun. But speaking of education, it's also interesting to think about how TV can shape how we see the world, you know, beyond just specific skills.
That's a good point.
Like documentaries, for example. They can be really powerful. They can show us things that we would never experience otherwise. Or even fictional shows, the ones that deal with social or political issues. They can really get people talking. and even challenge our beliefs.
It's true, but it does make you wonder about responsibility. If TV can really change how we see the world, don't the creators have some kind of obligation to be accurate and thoughtful?
That's a big question. It's not all the same, is it? Some shows are just pure escapism and fantasy, and others are trying to be realistic and comment on society.
Right.
And then there's everything in between. So where do we draw the line between entertaining people and influencing them?
It's a tough question, and there's no easy answer. But I think the most important thing is to be aware, to know that what we watch can have an impact. We need to be critical viewers, question the stories that we're being told, and try to look for different perspectives.
To be mindful of the stories we choose to let into our lives and how they might be shaping our views. So we want to hear from you. As you continue your own television journey, think about your own viewing habits. What are you looking for when you watch TV? Entertainment, escape, knowledge, or maybe a mix of all of them.
And how do those choices affect how you understand the world?
It's definitely something to think about. And to help us all explore these questions even more, we would love to hear from you. Head over to our website or social media and tell us about a time a TV show taught you something you weren't expecting. Did it get you interested in something new? Or did it change your perspective on something? Or did you just learn some random fact that stuck with you?
We always love to hear how our listeners connect these ideas to their own lives. That's what makes these deep dives so rewarding, getting people curious and encouraging them to think a little more deeply about the media they're consuming.
Because ultimately, television can be so much more than just a way to relax after a long day. It can teach us things, inspire us, even start meaningful conversations.
It's true.
So next time you pick up the remote, think of it as a chance to not just escape, but maybe to learn something new, challenge your own ideas, and experience the world in a totally different way.
And until next time, happy viewing, everyone.
Yeah, and it made me think about how television can give us like these virtual apprenticeships.
Virtual apprenticeship.
Yeah, we can see these experts doing their thing, like baking or woodworking, or even something really specific, like glass blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, how many of us would actually get the chance to see those skills up close? TV can make that kind of knowledge and expertise available to everyone.
It's true. And it can make us curious. It can inspire us to learn more, even if it's just for the fun of it.
Yeah. So Neil might be hoping to learn Swedish just by watching TV. But Beth is finding her own kind of education in this really precise world of pastry.
I like that.
It's a good reminder that learning doesn't always have to be so serious. It can just happen, even when we're just looking for some fun. But speaking of education, it's interesting to think about how TV can shape our understanding of the world in bigger ways, you know, not just specific skills.
Right. When we get lost in these stories, we're naturally exposed to all these different perspectives and cultures and social issues.
Yeah, like think about documentaries. They can give us such powerful insights into things that are happening in the world, things that we might never know about otherwise.
Absolutely.
Or even fictional shows that deal with social or political themes. They can spark these conversations and challenge our own beliefs.
That's true. But then it brings up this question of responsibility, you know? If TV can really influence how we see the world, what responsibility do the creators have to portray things accurately and thoughtfully?
Yeah, that's a big question. I mean, it's not all the same, is it? Some shows are all about escape and fantasy, and others are trying to be more realistic and make a statement about society.
Right.
And there's everything in between. So where do we draw the line between entertaining people and influencing them?
It's complicated. There's not a simple answer. But I think the key is to be aware. Be aware of the potential impact of what we watch.
Yeah.
We should be critical viewers. We should question the stories that we're being told and try to look for different points of view.
To be mindful of the stories we choose to let into our lives and how they might be shaping our own views. So as you continue your own journey with television, we want you to think about your own viewing habits. What are you really looking for from TV? Are you looking for entertainment or escape or knowledge or maybe a combination of all of them?
And how do those choices influence how you see the world?
It's really something to think about. And to help us all explore these questions further, we would love to hear from you.
Exactly.
Head over to our website or social media and tell us about a time when a TV show taught you something that you weren't expecting.
Yeah.
Did it spark a new interest or change your perspective? Or maybe you just learned some random fact that stuck with you.
We love to hear how our listeners connect these ideas to their own lives. It's what makes these deep dives so great, you know, getting people curious and making them think a little more deeply about what they're watching.
Because in the end, TV can be so much more than just a way to relax. It can be a way to learn things, get inspired, and even start important conversations. So the next time you pick up that remote, think of it as an opportunity, not just to escape, but maybe to discover something new, maybe challenge your own assumptions, and engage with the world in a whole new way.
Right. Until next time, happy viewing, everyone.